Hey everyone, welcome back to my garden. And I wanted to talk about ground cherries today, specifically about propagating them. That means taking transplants and clippings. So here's an example of one right over here. And this plant is approximately a month old. And I just wanted to show you real quick. If I lift up the sleeve, you begin to see tiny little ground cherry flowers forming right there in the middle, and even right over here, and even back there I see a few. You can see it even from this angle. And I just wanted to talk about real quick this plant right over here. That's the mother plant that I took the transplant off, the clipping off, and I put it over here. And this plant has been growing for approximately 2.5 months now, and you can pretty much see over here that it's producing tiny lanterns pretty much all over this place. And this plant is extremely big and massive and produces these beautiful tiny lanterns like you see in front of you here, which is part of the nightshade family. It's similar to a tomatillo. And it's supposed to have a pretty delicious fruit that forms inside. So as I bring you around, you really see how large this plant is. It's pretty much taken up about 24 inches by 16, something like that. And it's about maybe 6 to 8 inches tall. So it's pretty big, and it's gonna keep getting bigger, about maybe 3 feet each way. So it's pretty large. But it produces fruit really early, so you're able to test it and see if you like it. So if you don't want to commit that full space there, you don't have to. And if I actually open one of these lanterns up, I could maybe show you what one of these looks like. Let's see. There we are. If you look inside, you begin to see the tiny ground cherry right in there. And that's pretty much what these little ones are going to turn into in about a month or so, maybe even less. So instead of growing this plant for 2.5 months or 3 months almost, you could take clippings off of it and they'll start producing fruits and flowers in about a month or so. So hopefully you're able to take some clippings like I did and propagate yourself some ground cherries. Now let's actually look at what the root system looks like, and then we'll talk about how to actually do the process of taking it. Look at this. And it keeps going pretty much all the way down. I just changed the nutrient solution, I believe on Sunday it was, yesterday. And I always check the levels every Sunday. This way I have a nice little routine going. I always check what the pH looks like and what the ppm looks like. And I generally change actually the entire reservoir, the nutrients as well as the water, every 3 to 4 weeks. So almost once a month I change the reservoir completely, even though it's growing in the Kratky system and you could technically leave it in there. I like to change it out this way. I'm not worried of anything like any anaerobic bacteria being formed and going in the air and potentially infecting me without me knowing. And overall you see the transplant looks really good, and it's beginning to even put on its own sets of suckers right there. These two tiny ones, that's going to be its own set of branches that produces its own flowers and fruits. And so pretty much the way you could go about taking your transplants after your plant gets big is exact same way you would with a tomato plant. You have your main branch, which keeps going, and then off of that branch you have the stem that goes out right over here, the side branch. And generally all of these side branches produce fruits and flowers and leaves as well, so you could pretty much clip this anywhere here you want. And if I actually zoom you in, sorry about that, that's just my dog barking. If I zoom you in right over here, you can pretty much see, let's zoom in. Look at that, 8 ton, I would say maybe like thousands and thousands of tiny little hairs all over the place. So you could pretty much clip it at a 45-degree angle, and it's going to start growing roots out the bottom of there, as well as all of these tiny little micro hairs are going to turn into roots as well, as long as they're buried. So if you bury them, they'll grow into roots, and you want to pretty much bury it at least, I would say maybe 2 to 3 inches if you have it. If not, whatever space you have, maybe just to support the plant in the beginning. And let's zoom out. So overall, it's really simple to do. You could come in and let this plant grow big, and just off of this one branch right here, I could probably have maybe like 3 or 4 separate plants growing. They'll grow into a full-size mature plant like you see in front of you here, and instead of waiting another 3 months from starting from seed, this is a nice quick way to keep the cycle going, especially as the seasons change. And if you want to start growing this indoors, it's a nice, beautiful, simple plant to grow. It's a self-pollinator, meaning you don't have to do anything. The flowers will open up and bloom like you see in front of you here, pollinate itself, close up, and start producing beautiful fruits inside lanterns like you see here. And all you got to do is come in and collect them, wait until they ripen, and enjoy. So that's pretty much all there is to it. And we spoke about a few things. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And actually, before we go, for the nutrients, I use Master Blend 2 grams, calcium nitrate 2 grams, and Epsom salt 1 gram. You can find pretty much all the items that I use in the description bar down below, if in case you're interested, as well as the links to purchase items. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. If you liked the episode, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and maybe subscribe. Thanks for watching.